Hello everyone. I will be talking about spectroscopy and dynamics of copper-doped CDSE nanotetrapods, which become brightly photoluminescent after ultrafast hole capture by the copper. So, in the case of semiconductor nanoparticle, this electron and hole pair is called the exciton, and except the conduction band and valence band, there are some other energy levels are present in between of these bands, that is called the defect state, which is originate from unpassivated surface of the nanoparticle. So switching of the spherical shape of the nanoparticle to the tetrapod shape of the nanoparticle has many reasons and many different applications. But more precisely, tetrapod shape of the nanoparticle has better performance for the solar cell, as it has easy transference of charge carrier from one active layer to the another active layer of the solar cell through arms of the tetrapod, and this performance can be enhanced by the metal doping. So we have synthesized this copper-doped CDSE nanotetrapod by this following synthesis procedure. This is a hot injection one-pot synthesis method. And after synthesizing the nanoparticle, we have done the TEM, transmission electron microscopy, to check the shape of the nanoparticle, and we have observed that there is no change in the shape after copper doping, and the core size was observed 3.7 nanometer approximately, and the arm's length of the nanoparticle was around 14 nanometer. And the presence of the copper in the nanoparticle is confirmed by the XPS measurement, and the percentage of the copper is confirmed by the ICP AES, which was 0.7%. So before going to the spectroscopy of the nanoparticle, first we need to understand what is the basic difference of the carrier relaxation for the undoped and copper doped CDSE nanotetrapod. So in the case of CDSE undoped nanotetrapod, so after photoexcitation, so electron is present in the higher vibration level of the conduction band. First, it relaxes to the lower vibration level of the conduction band. So as the nanoparticle has trap state or defect state, as the nanoparticle is not the surface of the nanoparticle is not passivated, so this electron either trapped to the defect state or recombine with this valence band localized hole and give the emission. But in the case of copper doped, as it is reported that copper D level is lying between of the valence band and conduction band. So after photoexcitation, as the copper has electron, so one of the copper electron relax to the valence band of the nanoparticle. So now this hole is shifted to the copper D level. So this excited electron has to recombine with this copper localized hole and give the red shifted emission because of the decrement in the energy gap. So in the case of steady state spectra, we have observed there is no change in the absorption spectrum except a slight red shift in the first excitonic absorption band for the copper doped CDSE nanotetrapod, which is because of giving more reaction time. So as it is reported, and we also observed that the size of the nanoparticle is reaction time dependent. And in the case of emission spectrum, so we have observed a very less emission for the undoped CDSE nanotetrapod with 1.7% quantum yield. And in the case of after copper doping, we have observed a very broad and large stock shifted band, that is called dopant emission or charge transfer emission, with 38% quantum yield. So this broad spectrum comes because of the symmetry breaking zone Taylor distortion, which is because of the electron and phonon interaction. So this is the quantitative emission spectrum. We have observed that with the copper quantity, with the copper percentage, this bandage emission decreased severally with the copper percentage, and this dopant emission enhanced with the copper quantity. So this again confirms the presence of the copper in the nanoparticle. So in the case of steady state absorption and excited spectrum, which shows perfect overlap for the CDSE and copper doped CDSE in a tetrapod, which confirms that the purity of the emissive species and also confirms that the emission coming from the same excitonic state. So we have observed the 1.7% quantum yield for undoped and 38% quantum yield for copper doped, and this red shifted band is because of presence of the copper d level in between of the valence band and conduction band. So after that we have calculated the second order derivative spectrum. So this is normal ensemble emission absorption spectrum for the CDAC in copper doped CDAC in tetrapode, and this is the second order derivative spectrum. And what we have observed that the first excitonic band observed at the same wavelength for in the case of second order derivative spectrum also, and there are some other bands also observed which cannot be clearly seen in the normal absorption spectrum. So, as the copper oxidation state plays a decisive role for the carrier relaxation dynamics, so to confirm the oxidation state of the copper, we have treated the nanoparticle with DDT, dodecane-thiol, which is a Hall scavenger, and we have observed quenching for the undoped and copper-doped CDAC nanotetrapode. So, how this quenching confirms the oxidation state of the copper, that can be understood by this scheme. So in the case of A, if we use Cu plus as a dopant ion which has 3d10 electronic configuration. So after photoexcitation, electron is present in the conduction band and hole is present in the valence band. So after photoexcitation, so one electron of the copper relaxed to the valence band and hole is shifted to the d level of the copper. So now this excited electron recombine with this copper localized hole and give the dopant emission. And what happens if we use Cu2 plus as a dopant ion which has 3d9 electronic configuration, and as it has permanent active hole already, so after photoexcitation the system has two hole. One is present in the valence band and another a permanent active hole present in the copper. So this excited electron has two competitive pathways. Either it recombine with this copper localized hole or it recombine with this valence band localized hole. So in that case, it gives dual emission, which is reported in the literature. And what happens if we treat the nanoparticle with DDT, which is a Hall scavenger? So DDT lies somewhere near to the valence band of the CDAC nanoparticle. So after photoexcitation, DDT abstract the hole from the valence band. Now this excited electron recombine non-radiatively with this DDT localized hole and shows the quenching in the emission. And what happens if you treat the Cu2 plus doped nanoparticle with DDT? So in that case, DDT abstract the hole from the valence band. So DDT removes this bandage pathways. So this excited electron has to recombine only this copper localized hole. So in that case, the dopant emission must enhance, but we have observed quenching in the emission. So it confirms that copper is present in the +1 oxidation state. So after that, we have done the single particle study and observed that the single particle emission spectrum and the ensemble emission spectrum perfectly match in the case of undoped and 0.2% copper doped and 0.7% copper doped CDAC nanotetrapode. And in the case of blinking trace, what we have observed for undoped, so particle is present mostly in the off state. Means in the case of undoped nanotetrapode, particle shows off state fraction, large off state fraction compared to on state fraction. And in the case of 0.2% copper doped, so particle shows some on state fraction with off state fraction. But in the case of 0.7% copper doped, particle is present mostly in the on state. So this copper percentage increased the on state percentage because of the strong Coulomb interaction in the doped nanotetrapode. So what is the on and off state, that can be understood by this scheme. So in the case of undoped, after photoexcitation, if the excited charge carrier recombine radiatively and give the emission, that is called the on state. If anyhow the excited carrier trap to the defect state and recombine non-radiatively, that is called the off state. And same thing can be applied for the copper doped CDAC nanotetrapode. So after that, we have recorded the PL decay of CDAC and copper doped CDAC nanotetrapode, and observed that the decay is getting faster with the copper percentage, which means that copper doping opens up a new channel in the system. So for undoped CDAC nanotetrapode, we have observed a 2 picosecond component, that is for the hole trapping to the defect state, and which is decreased to the 1 picosecond with copper percentage, that is for the hole capture by the copper. And the signal intensity decreased at the bandage state, which means that transference of the emission from bandage state to the dopant emission. And the same thing in the case of nanosecond time regime also observed at the bandage state, and we have observed a very long lifetime at the dopant emission. So in the case of ground state bleach spectrum, so we have observed a very prominent peak around at 550 nanometer. That is called the ground state bleach, and a very less feature but important is called the photoinduced absorption. And a derivative like spectrum observed from 400 to 500 nanometer, that is called that is for the exciton Coulomb interaction. So people have confirmed by using different electron and hole scavenger, and confirmed that this ground state bleach feature is something related to the electron dynamics, and the photoinduced absorption feature tells about the hole dynamics. So to check the electron and hole dynamics, we have recorded the decay kinetics at this feature and at the. So this is the decay kinetics at ground state bleach feature, and observe that there is no change in the long time regime. At the short time regime, we have observed the rise time has increased from 330 to 510 femtosecond with the copper percentage, which is because of in the case of after copper doping, the electron and hole has strong Coulomb interaction, which remove the Auger combination, Fonal bottleneck effect, and non-adiabatic transition. And the decay kinetics at the photoinduced absorption is a bi-exponential with a fast component and a long component. There is no change in the long component, and the change is present only in the fast component. So the fast component was observed around 2 picosecond, which is decreased to the 1 picosecond with the copper percentage. So this again confirms that this 2 picosecond component for the hole trapping to the defect state, which is decreased to the 1 picosecond, that is for the hole capture by the copper. And we have compared the PL decay in the picosecond time regime and the decay at the photoinduced absorption, which shows perfect overlap, who confirms that this 2 picosecond component for the hole trapping to defect state, and this 1 picosecond component, that is for the hole capture by the copper. And we also observed that wavelength independent decay kinetics at the photoinduced absorption feature for the copper undoped and copper doped CDAC nanotetrapode. So this is the result of this work. We have observed a broad, intense, and a large Stokes shifted band for the copper doped CDAC nanotetrapodes. And the quantum yield has increased from 1.7 to 38% after copper doping, and a long lifetime was observed for the excited electron. And the ultra-fast hole capture time was observed 1 picosecond, which is confirmed by the PL decay in the picosecond time regime, and the decay at the photoinduced absorption feature. And the hole electron relaxation time increased from 330 to 510 femtosecond, and which is because of removing the Auger combination and phonon bottleneck effect. So very recently we have published this data in this nanoscale. Okay, so thank you APC 2021 for this wonderful opportunity to present my work, and I want to acknowledge my supervisor Professor Anindya Datta for his continuous support and guidance, my lab mates, and chemistry department IIT Bombay for the facility. Thank you.